recording. Radhe Radhe everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to another exciting session of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Today we have Holi special session. Over to you, Nitinji. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you. All right. So Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So today we'll do a Holi special session. We'll do it for 2 days. And we'll take some inspiration from Bhagavad Gita, watch Swamiji's lecture, and talk a little bit about some of the concepts as well. So let's get started like we always do by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right. So Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening again to all of you. So let's get started. I picked up 2 shlokas today, and I'll tell you the significance of picking up these shlokas, as you will be able to appreciate as we progress through the session. So let's get started with the first one. Macha yogyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate saguna gunan samati tyetyan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. All right, just gonna take shot at it. I see one hand only, 2 hands. All right, who's the first one today?
As always, Samji.
All
Radhe
right,
Radhe.
Sam, go ahead, please.
Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Mam
Radhe.
cha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Very
Radhe
nice.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Rahulji. Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Rahul.
Radhe Radhe. Mam chayo vibhichareena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samtityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Nice. Radhe Radhe.
Shamji. Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Mam cha yo vyabhicharen bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati tyatyan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Very nice. Thank you, Shamji. All right.
Riya ji. Yeah. Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Mam chayobhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Very nice. Thank you.
Somesh ji. Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
She.
Radhe Radhe Nitinji. Radhe Radhe. Mam cha vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagudan samitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Radhe
Very nice.
Radhe.
Somesh. All right. So remaining hands will take the next shloka. Let me give a quick summary of this shloka. This says, those who serve me with unalloyed devotion rise above the 3 modes of material nature and come to the level of Brahman. Okay, we'll get to that shloka. The next one is, Brihatsam tatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margashirshaham Ritunam kusumakaraha.
Sainaji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Brihat samatata samnam Gayatri chandasam aham Masanam margashirshoham Ritunam kusumakaraha.
Saramji, Radhe Radhe. Okay, let's pick the remaining hands with this one.
Chandruji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Chandruji.
Radhe Radhe. Brihat samata tatha samnam Gayatri chandasam aham Masanam marga shishoham Ritunam kusum makara.
Very nice, Chandruji. Radhe Radhe. All right, last two hands.
Anita ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Anita ji.
Radhe Radhe. Brahma samathatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margashishaha Hamrituna kusumakaraha. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Margashishoham Ritunam kusumakaraha. Very nice. All right, last two hands. Okay, last two. Let's freeze it.
Parnaji. Yeah, Parnaji, please go ahead. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Brihat samathatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margashirshoham Ritunam kusumakaraha.
Very nice, Aparnaji. All right, last but not the least. Sandhya, please go ahead.
Brihat Sam Tatha Samnam Gayatri Chandasamaham Masanam Margashirshoham Ritunam Kusumakaraha.
Very nice. Thank you. So let's get started. I picked up these two shlokas. So this one talks about, this is from 10th chapter, verse 35. So the previous one, let's talk about the previous one and then this one. So this one is, like I said, it talks about, so God is saying that, we go back to the previous one. Yeah. So in this one, this is 14th chapter, 26th verse. This talks about those who serve me with unalloyed devotion. Unalloyed, alloy, we know, right? Chemical, in chemistry, we have done what is an alloy, what is a compound. So unalloyed means exclusivity, ananyata, not mixed with 10 other Devi Devtas or any other. It's like unalloyed devotion. It's not like you're doing devotion of your family, you're doing devotion of some person, you're doing devotion of some object, your kid, spouse, whoever, and God also. He says unalloyed. That means you have to be an element, not an alloy or a compound. Okay. Unalloyed devotion rise above the three modes of material nature, and three modes, they carry their colors. We'll talk about that, and it's a festival of colors, so that's why I picked up the shloka. How do you rise above these colors and come to the level of Brahman? Coming to the level of Brahman means becoming godlike. As simple as that. You become godlike. Okay. Why? How is what we're going to talk about. And this shloka I picked up, that in this shloka Lord is saying Vibhuti Yoga. This is from 10th chapter. So God is saying amongst the hymns and the Samveda, know me to be the Bhritsama. Bhritsama is one of the Vedas in which, beautiful music is there. So he said, consider me as the Bhritsama. Amongst poetic meters, I am the Gayatri. When it comes to the meters, poetic meters, Gayatri mantra I am. And so basically in this Vibhuti Yoga, Lord is talking about, okay, how can you relate to me basically? So it's like, he's not boasting about himself. He's basically saying that in anything that you think about, whatever is the peak or epitome of it, just consider it, to be me. And when he says consider it to be, it's like but a spark of his splendor. Okay. So he's just giving some analogies around it. And so he's saying the best of the best in everything is just consider it as, me. if you have to relate to. So amongst the mantras, you can say Gayatri, amongst the hymns, the Samved. And interestingly, he says, of the 12 months of the Hindu calendar, I'm Margrish. Basically, that is the month people usually have. Their favorite one usually comes around November, December time frame. It's neither cold nor winter. It's the most pleasant, beautiful season. And of seasons, he's saying I'm spring, which brings forth flowers. So Holi is a festival which is the onset of spring, if you look at it. And God is saying, and spring is also considered as the king of seasons. That is when the nature is at its full glory. If you look at it, it's draped in beautiful sari of colorful hues, flowers, and this is where the nature is at its beautiful best. So that is why Lord is saying that I am spring amongst all the seasons. He's not saying I'm holy amongst all the festivals, but spring is holy is basically brings basically it's the onset of it, announces the onset of spring. Having said that, Lord was very fond of playing Holi, okay, as we will see in one of the Leelas today that I'm eagerly waiting for, the recitation of that and how he would go about that. We'll get to know more about that. But let's get started with today's session. So happy Holi to everybody in advance. I think there's a Choti Holi and then it's a Badi Holi, right? So what we are going to talk about is it's Holi special sessions. We'll do a couple of them. And we are going to talk about the color that our heart is longing for since time eternity. A heart, when I say, it is called basically Antakaran in spiritual parlance, which includes Man, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar complex. Okay, it is craving for something which it is not getting, and that is why we are not yet there. That complete happiness that we are. And how do we get this color? We'll try to get as deep as we can today and then conclude it tomorrow. So this is what will be our topic of discussion around colors. What is that color? And then how do we get that? Of course, that is needed as well. So let's get started. This is our heart. Okay, it's not looking very pretty, but this is how it is. Now, heart, Antakaran, Man. I've spoken about this concept that this if we were to equate it to something tangible that we see around, something that we can relate to, then it would be a very old because we have existed since God has existed. That is why we are as old as God. So we have existed since time eternity. Kab se, if in Hindi somebody says kab se, jab se Bhagwan. Bhagwan kab se, jab se tab bhi nahi tha. So jab se tab bhi exist was, that is since then we have been existing, and that is why we are very old. Okay, nobody's young. In the gross body, it might take stages, but we are all old. Now, one reason is we are old, and second is we have impressions of countless lifetimes. That is why our man, chit, and this antakaran is dirty. It's an old soiled cloth that needs to be cleansed, that needs to be cleaned. So this is what our heart is colloquially referred to as our antakaran. Okay, so don't consider it as an actual heart which pumps blood in our body. Okay, this is antakaran basically. And let's say this is how it looks like. When it is completely clean, that means you have spiritually, you're done deal at that point. So this is an old soiled cloth. Let's look at it this way. Now, if you simply play Holi, then you can acquire more of this. Holi means holy with the world we are playing anyways, right? Just give me a sec. Okay, so if we play Holi, the regular colors that we have anyway been playing, okay, we are playing Holi with all the gunas in multiple lifetimes. So one possibility is you will add more of it, the color that it already is, right? This is the first possibility. The second possibility is you add some crimson color. And the third possibility is you have added a lighter color, but it is still a color. You have cleansed it a little bit, but it still has its own defects around it. However, now let's see the other possibility. You add Mr. Sham Sundar to it, okay, Lord Krishna to it, or God to it. Then what happens? You see the heart, some glow has come. Yeah, some glow has come. It will start shining at that point. Okay. Some shine, some color has started coming in. Then you add more of it. You continue doing it. Okay. You see a little more shine and some more tan color has come in, and so forth. Okay. A lot of shine, and then it is actually taking on that color. And what is this color we are talking about here? The other three were the tamas, rajas, and sattva, that we are anyway playing Holi with the material world. Okay, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So this Holi is continuing. But when you start playing Holi of, taking on the color of God, bringing him in your thoughts, then your heart will start to shine forth. As you can see, the first heart does not have a shine. So look carefully. There is a glow around it. Okay. That starts happening only when you start bringing God into the mix. And there is a beautiful saying, ये अनुरागी चित्त की गति समझे ना कोई, ज्यों ज्यों डूबे श्याम रंग, त्यों त्यों उज्जवल होई. Okay, so this is the secret or the mantra, like Swamiji has told us. If we want our heart to be on the left-hand side or the extreme right, the choice is ours. It will, ujjwal means the shine, it will start shining forth as we start immersing it in Shamrang, in God's color. Okay, that is the only way it will shine. Otherwise, we will keep on taking the colors of Maya, which are tamas, rajas, and sattva. Okay, only when we start bringing God into our thoughts, that's when you are actually taking on the color of God. Now, what is the color of God? We'll talk about that. Okay. Now, God has made it a little more easy for us as well, right? He's given us a bit of a variety as well. But I hope this point makes sense. So, Anuragi Chitta ki. So, the point here is Anuragi Chit means it needs itself to attach to someone. Anurag. That means we are very fond of attaching it to someone. Our Chit is very fond of, give me some person, give me an object. I need somebody, my mind to attach to somebody. It's very fond of getting attached. And its gati means its nature is such that nobody understands. We keep on attaching it to the world with the hope that we are going to get that happiness that we are looking for. But the secret is, Jojo Dube Shamarang, Tyoto Ujjwal Hoy. That is when it will shine forth and say, yes, now I'm getting something. Okay, that I was always seeking for. So that is the secret of getting your heart cleansed and bringing it to a level which will give us that satisfaction or that feeling of satiation that we have always been seeking for. So with that, let's look at a quick lecture from Swamiji and hear from him on the occasion of Holi. It's a beautiful lecture. We will listen to it and then continue with our conversation on this topic. Let me know if you're able to hear the audio, because give me a sec.
Thinking about going solar, but
are you able to hear now? Probably not. Give me a sec.
Could hear, but that was an advertisement, I guess.
Yes, that's right. Let me share my desktop, share sound, share it. That way I can. Are you able to see the screen now?
The YouTube screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let me play that then.
sure whether it's worth it for your home. Well, before you get
in our heart. नंदगांव का छोरा है, फलसारी की छोरी है. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjun, all these three modes of the material energy bind the soul to it. Consider three robbers. One man was walking in the forest when these three robbers found him. One of them said, let's kill him and loot everything that he has. The second said, no. Let's loot all that he has, but let's not kill him. So the three of them, they tied him up with a rope and they took away his possessions and went off. When they had gone a little distance, the third robber returned. He opened this man's ropes and, releasing him, pointed to a way out of the forest. He said, if you go from this side, you can get out of this jungle. I cannot take you out. I can only show you the way. These three robbers were the three modes of material energy. The robber who said, let's kill him and loot him. This is tamoguna, the mode of ignorance that pulls the soul down, steeps it in darkness. The robber who said, let's not kill him, but let's bind him up. This is the mode of passion, rajoguna, that binds the soul in numerous desires for worldly happiness. The third robber who helped release this man, who untied his ropes and showed the way out. This is the mode of goodness, sattvagun, that lifts up the soul from bondage. It helps us go towards transcendence, although it is not transcendental itself. Beyond these three is the divine mode of God. That is the color we want to color our heart in. We wish to go beyond all these three modes to make our mind blemishless, to endow our mind with the finest divine qualities of God, to develop that attitude which will lead to inner joy and which will make us work effectively and productively in this world. How do we purify this mind of the three gunas? There's a very simple logic to it. Absorb your mind in the divine. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. The Bhagavad Gita states that the Supreme Lord is beyond the three modes. If you wish to purify your mind, absorb your mind in the Lord, and you will naturally transcend tamogun, rajogun, and sattvagun, the way to achieve auspiciousness in life. How do you do it? The simplest way is to color your soul, your mind with the color of God. Our celebration of Holi would be fruitful if through this celebration we could receive that color of God in our heart. It is a mystery that few people understand. The more our mind gets colored with that divine color, it doesn't become dirty, it only becomes cleaner. Ya anuragi chitta ki gati samjhe nahi koya, jo jo dube sham rang tyo tyo ujjwal hoya. The nature of the mind is understood by very few. The more we get the color of God on the mind, the cleaner this mind becomes. The nature of this mind is very much like sealing wax. You know, in the olden days, a few decades ago, we would pack parcels and seal them with sealing wax. At least in India, we used to do it while growing up. So the sealing wax, it would be heated up. And after having been heated, a color would be released in it, red color or green color, and then it would be allowed to cool down. Once it had cooled, that color would become one with the wax. That color could challenge the wax. You take me out and I will accept you. And the wax could challenge the color. You leave me and show. The two of them had united and become one. In the same way is our mind. When our mind melts in love or in hate, in attachment or in aversion, whatever the mind melts for, that object gets embedded in the heart and the mind. If our mind has melted for alcohol, that is the color that has become one with the mind. So if we wish to purify our mind, we want it to become one with the color of God.
Okay, so hope that reinforced the message that we've been talking about. So Holi is an occasion where we can take a resolve to start coloring our mind even more deeper in Shamrang. So let's proceed further after this beautiful video from Swamiji. And let me pose a question. How much time we have? Okay, we do have. Now, a drink that makes your thirst crave for more. Okay. What is that drink that will make it more and more and more? Let's talk quickly about that. Is it cola? It's not. Cola, yes. They put some ingredient which doesn't quench your thirst. That's what I came to know later. You have Thumbs Up, Coke, and especially when you go to Vaishno Devi, you have it on the way. Then after a while, you feel like drinking again because it doesn't quench your thirst really. Okay. Water it does, but then after it does not make you drink more. Once thirst is quenched, it's like enough of it, right? It may quench your thirst temporarily until your next thirst comes. And then some people would say lassi, right? But of course, you can have it only so much. If it quenches your thirst, then you cannot keep on having it. Yes, Sam, you wanted to say something? One of these three options or what?
Okay, Radhe Radhe Samji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. I think in the video Swamiji mentioned as Shamras.
Yeah,
The
so
nectar of Sham.
we'll talk more about, yeah. Yeah, Sandhya, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I was saying nectar of love for God. That is, yeah.
Yes, Rahul, you wanted to add something?
Yes,
I was thinking about Charnamrit. I mean, if we talk in the...
And let's talk about it a little bit because I'm waiting for the presentation that we're going to look at Holi Leela as well. So let's talk about it. So here is
Chandruji also wants to
yes,
say something.
Chandruji.
Radhe Radhe Chandruji.
Radhe Radhe. For me, it would be Braj Ras, Prem Ras, anything to do with Swamiji and his lectures and his videos and with JKU. Thank you.
Awesome.
Very nice. So let's talk about, here is you have Sham, right? We are talking about Shamras, right? So Shamras has come. Now he has made it even more easy for us and doubled the ras for us by giving us Gaur ras also, okay, which is Radha Tattva. So see, Sham can devour Radha ras, Gaur ras, Radha can devour Sham ras, but as Jivatma we can devour both. So we are lucky in that sense, okay. So if you look at it, now you mix both of them, make a cocktail, okay, and make a cocktail out of it. You see this? And the vessel is that of bhakti. And then devour it. And if you have this drink, this will, your thirst, it will ask for more and more and more. That is how beautiful it is, right? It is Brajras. So you mix Shamras with Gaurras, put it in the vessel of bhakti and keep devouring it. Okay, so that is the whole idea. And this color, when you start having, so if you look at it in the heart, this color will start embedding in your heart as well. Tomorrow we'll go deeper into this topic. What are the techniques, how you can embed, like Swamiji spoke about the topic today? How do we embed Shamras? What is the process to do that? Other than, of course, doing sadhana and seva, but how do we take it deeper is what we are going to talk about tomorrow. So this is the secret cocktail that you can keep devouring for the rest of your life, and you will say, okay, I just need more of it. I just need more of it. And it is never ending because this competition between Bhakt and God continues. How? God does not say, you know what, I have given you everything. Now I've run out of fund of bliss. And Bhakt says, okay, whatever bliss, I offer it back to you. So that competition continues, right? So God, it's like unlimited bliss and it just continues. Like they say in Bhakti, there is no Purnima, there is no complete moon. So it just continues forever and ever and ever. Okay, so that is how it goes. So this is the key secret cocktail. When you have both, you continue to do that. You keep practicing devotion, and we'll get into some of the practices tomorrow. How do you devour this ras on a daily basis and enjoy its nectar and bliss and all the good things that come along with it? Okay, so that is the key. And on this Holi, it's a good drink to start having if you have not already started. And color we have already spoken about, right? The three colors of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, we are anyway playing that Holi, and for how long we'll play, right? But when you start playing Holi in the color of Sham and Gaur, then that's when your mind will start shining forth as well. So happy Holi to all of you once again in advance. So today what we are going to do is, you see Krishna is here. Do you see Krishna? Okay, and he's going to throw color, and here's Radha. So with that, I will hand it over to Urvi, who's going to give us a beautiful presentation on something related to Holi today. So Urvi, all yours. With that, I hope I have given you enough time and doing justice to that, and you'll not have to rush through this time around. So go ahead, all yours. I'm going to stop share and give it to you.
Okay, Radhe Radhe. I'll share my screen.
Sure.
So, is my screen visible?
Yes. You can make it full screen.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'll stop share for a moment. This is the last slide. I'll have to start from the first slide.
Sure, Urvi. You can
Sorry.
stop sharing and yeah.
Just give me a moment.
In the meanwhile, Nitinji, you were referring to the cold drink, right? There was, I guess, Pepsi company. They had this tagline, "Dil Mange More." So what you were referring to, I think that fits very well for nectar of God's love. Dil Mange More.
Dil mange more. Yeah, very true.
Shyamji wants to say something.
Shyamji?
Yeah,
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe. Just a thought. All these ideas are coming to Urvi only. हम सब लोग बाकी यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा. मतलब just a thought. Urvi is so deeply engrossed in bhakti ras, gaur ras that I just had to just hats off to her and God bless always. Radhe Radhe.
I would say reserve some words until she's done today, okay? So it's going to be pretty awesome.
I'm sure.
Okay, are you all set then?
So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So it is know what's happening. Somehow it's not working. I don't know why.
The presentation is not moving.
Yes. I give like I'll try once again. It has to work.
Or maybe if you can send it out, we can play it for you.
Yeah, that can be done if you can email or it's an online link.
Yes, I'll send it.
Yeah, you can send that.
Okay.
Okay, so while we wait for that, let me share my screen again and walk you through with what I was talking about. Let me know when you are ready, Sandhya, when we get the presentation.
Yeah, sure.
About the concept, we picked up two shloka. First one talks about going beyond the three colors of Maya, which is Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. That Holi that we regularly play with the Mike world, we need to go beyond that and drench ourselves in the color of Sham itself. And the season of the festival of Holi actually declares the onset of spring, which is called the king of seasons. And then we said that our heart, rather than taking the three colors of Maya, when we put it Shamrang, it starts shining, starts becoming cleaner, right? And then we looked at the Swamiji's video, and the drink we said, which makes our thirst go more and more and more, is the Shamras plus Gorras. When we mix it and embed it in our heart, then our heart craves for more and more and more. And this is a nectar that we all can take benefit from devouring it on a daily basis. Tomorrow we will talk about how do we install that deeply in our heart into doing the practices that we are doing, Karma Yoga, Seva, Sadhana. We can accelerate this process and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, so with that, do we have the presentation ready or?
You have mailed it to Sandra.
I'll just open my email.
Sure.
In the meanwhile, I think Rahulji has raised hand. So Radhe Radhe.
Rahul, say something.
So Nitinji, do we have any announcements like for this weekend?
Announcements is if you are in or around Dallas, please go to the temple. We are selling pani puris and those people are overworked, but there's nobody stopping. Okay, those lines are queued up and it's pretty amazing event that is going on. Holika Dahan today, and we are going to have Phoolon Ki Holi coming Saturday. That is another big event. Then we have the Seva Sadhana week going from 5th to 11th. And then we have the family camp coming up. In addition to that, is there anything else, Rahul, you wanted to announce?
Rahulji, if you want to say something, otherwise I'm just opening the presentation.
Okay. Yeah, I think the dates of all the other retreats are also there on the JKO website. So yeah, people can plan for that also.
Okay, great. Are we good with the presentation then?
Opening it, Nitinji, some more time.
No worries. Or maybe we can have the actual copy, that might be easier. So Holi is, I'm talking about Holi. So I was talking about the Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti Yoga. See, if you go directly to chapter 10 and you don't have a context on Bhagavad Gita, there are a lot of people I have seen who say what kind of an egoistic God it is, because he's actually telling us things that he's, he's amongst the mantras, he's Gayatri, amongst the mountains, he's Himalaya, amongst the syllables, he's Om, all those kind of things. Okay, just so that we can understand who God is. So does it mean he's not any other letter or he's not in any other mountain? No. What it means is, this is how you can understand me, that I am actually epitome or the peak of anything that you appreciate or see. It is consider it as but a fraction of my splendor. That is who God is. And in that is where I picked up that shloka. He's saying amongst the seasons, I am spring. Because spring season is where earth actually manifests its full glory. It looks very beautiful, as if somebody has draped it into a colorful sari. And so he says that among seasons, consider me as spring, and Holi is a festival which declares the onset of spring. And Holi Leela is what we are going to talk about today. Yes, Sam, you had a question? Any question on what we have spoken about today? Shamrang, Gaurang, Gaurras,
Yeah,
Bhakti,
yeah.
the bottle of Bhakti in which we need to devour it, or anything related to that?
About Holi.
Yes, please.
I didn't understand. I mean, how did this originate? In the other session, they played the story of Prahlad.
Yes.
Swamiji's version of Prahlad, but I'm still not understanding how this festival of colors came. What is its significance?
The significance, I mean, we celebrate.
Why did it originate?
What's the origin of Holi?
Why did it originate? How
Why
did this
it originate, or when did it originate, or for what purpose?
How? Why?
Okay, we'll do a dissertation separately on that. So to put it short, basically, Holika, if we have heard about that story, you would have known, right? Prahlad, because he was completely Sharanagat to God, to Vishnu, his Aradhya, he saved him. He came in as an express avatar of nursing at that point. So it is a victory of good over evil at that point, right? And then Holika was burnt, even though she had a boon that fire could not consume him. But Brahmaji said, because you did it for a wrong purpose, she was consumed. So in order to celebrate that, we celebrate Holi. Right? It has a historical precedence in Braj also, where Lord Krishna played it with Radha as well. And also it is a celebration where you forget everything. And, basically, if you see people, even enemies, they hug each other on this day. And people say Burana Mano Holi hai and then take a lot of liberties around it. By the way, Prahlad, most fascinating thing about that whole episode, which I personally found, was when Prahlad was asked by Narsingh Avatar, what do you want? So he was quiet for a minute, okay, for a few seconds. And then again he said, what do you want? He said, if you're asking me to ask something or want something, because you are my master, I cannot refute you. First of all, he was quiet. But if your boss is ordering you to ask for something, you have to obey them. So he said, since you are asking me and I cannot disobey you, I ask you that I may not ask you anything. Okay, that is what Prahladji asked, by the way. What kind of a boon? I mean, he had a blank check from God and he said, I ask that I may not ask you anything. By the way, Prahlad, he went on to rule for one Manvantar. And one Manvantar, we can get into that calculation, how big it is. That much he actually ruled. So he was a perfect Karam Yogi. Okay, is the resolved?
Ritinji, I tried, but it's not accessible. So, and I think Urvi is facing some
Okay, we can take some questions. Maybe if we
technical
run out
issues.
of time, we can do that tomorrow because it's an important presentation. We'll see how it shapes, but let's take some questions in the meantime.
Also,
For
I've
us, Samji, to cut it short, we have to understand the key things here. One is that in the festival of Holi, that Prahlad's devotion and surrender, right, because of which God had to manifest himself. That is my learning. I'll not worry too much about other things, okay? Because I don't have to write an exam where they're going to ask us about, okay, tell us the origin. Otherwise, we are not going to get devotion. So the Prahlad is a very story, right? Where he was bitten by snakes, he was thrown down the hill under the elephant, but because he was completely Sharnagat to God, God was obliged to save him all the times. That is the key learning for me from a holy standpoint. And secondly, that we should not ask God for anything. Prahlad could have asked anything. And he said, I ask you that I may not ask you anything forever. That is the boon he's asking. Just look at the level of his surrender and his understanding that when you do that to God, what is it that you get in return is unimaginable. So these are the two key things I'll take away from Holi without worrying about its genesis and other things. Yes.
Is he a devotee in Dasya Bhav?
Which one?
Is he a devotee in Dasya Bhav? Prahlad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Prahlad, I think typically it would be in Shant or Dasya Bhav only because um, there's no precedence of any other bhavs, at least in Bhagavatam. So possibly in Dasya Bhav. See, Dasya Bhav comes very naturally. But when you start progressing in Dasya Bhav, you understand that Madhurya Bhav is when you can. But anyways, it really depends on what bhav you settle for. There is no formula or one thing is better than other. Whatever comes naturally to you. Yes, Anita ji, you wanted to add something?
I think
Okay, now I see the
Urvi was
presentation. I
saying
want to give the.
something. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Urvi, go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, Urvi?
Like I think my presentation was working, but it stopped again.
No worries, that's fine. I think you may want to send us the PPTX because if you're working online, your internet may or may not cooperate. So if you have the copy, downloaded copy, that might be easy if we play it locally. Okay, no worries. We can try it. If you can try to download it, that will be better. If not, let's continue. Anita ji has a question, so we can take some question related to Holi. And what you can share is your experience of Holi and what was your spiritual understanding of this festival itself, all along. We used to play Holi and throw, it used to be a license to throw anything at anybody. Okay, at least my childhood memories that I have. Right. So now I'm getting a little more deeper understanding of this festival, but let's hear from Anita ji. Yes, Anita ji.
Yes. I mean, just to mention, I have posted all the announcements in the chat, so please have a look at it and also fill the free feedback tracker.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. Radhe Radhe Anita ji, thank you for waiting.
Yeah, thank you. I think this holy festival started from Radha Krishna only. I may be right, I may be wrong.
Yeah, I think
Please
Braj Holi precedence is there. Yeah, they used to play. Yeah.
all the Gopis and Radha Krishna played Holi. because whenever we see the history, there is only we can see Holi played with Radha Krishna only. That whenever Holi comes to our mind, the picture is only Radha Krishna playing Holi. So, and I was also having a silly question, like at that time, how they were getting the colors, because now there are chemicals and everything. But I was
Yeah.
It used to be flowers, is what I've heard, that it is actually the actual gulal is made up of flowers. It's very soft on skin and it doesn't hurt eye as the chemicals do. So I think it comes from flowers, some basically
yeah,
the
that
yeah.
because nowadays it's all
Now
so
that
many of us not like to play Holi because some of the people having skin allergies, they don't want to play. So it's enjoyable though, but I'm having another doubt, like whether it started before Prahlad Ji's or after.
I will not worry too much about it. We can do some research on this, but I would focus more on the learnings
Just,
from Holi. And I haven't heard of it being played in Ramayana. Maybe it was, I
yeah,
don't know. But I've really not thought so much about this question to enhance my GK around it, but really focus on the key learnings of this festival as such. But yeah, it will be a good trivia to ask, when did the precedence start about this festival?
yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
thank you.
no worries, thank you. Any other questions related to the topic that we spoke about? See, the other part of it was we spoke about the concept of the Sham Rang and Gaur Rang. Now, Gaurang Mahaprabhu, that he also said that for a Jivatmas, we are extremely fortunate because Lord, basically, he is, Sham actually enjoys the Gaur Ras and Radharani, she enjoys the Sham Ras. But for souls, we can devour both Ras. So maybe God created Radharani because he said, I am the father, Param Purush, and they don't have a mother, so let me just duplicate myself, in form of a Radharani. So he gave us a spiritual mother. And now, because of their Leelas and pastimes, we get to devour both. And holy Leelas are beautiful Leelas, Julan Leela, Holy Leela, so many pastimes that he has given us. And then we embed that in our mind, that devotional rus it just keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing, and your thirst will also keep on increasing, like we see. So we are very extremely fortunate in that sense. Because we can devour both. So that's another thing which I take away from Holi in that sense, because of the pastimes that are there. Any other questions on what we spoke about today? Or let me talk about some other topic in that case. So other part of it was that Swamiji was talking about that our mind is like that wax, right? So for us to embed the color of something new, what would it take? Let's talk a little bit about that. So our antakaran is actually equated to a cold wax. A cold wax we have seen, if you look at a candle, it is a cold wax. Now, the wax, the temperature of wax needs to be, I'm sorry, I don't have presentation. I would have presented it if I had known it, but I can talk through that. So the temperature of wax needs to be raised before a new color can be added to it. And same thing happens in case of the devotional meditation as well. How do we raise the temperature of that wax? We raise the temperature of that wax through emotional meditation. Okay, there is a meditations are also of different types. One meditation is where you simply use your mind. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. Focus on breath until it becomes very minute, and then take it to one of your chakras and stuff like that. This meditation is emotional, where you are actually bringing your emotions to the fold and simulating in your mind that you're actually in Braj, you're looking at Krishna, or taking advantage of so many pastimes, leelas that we have benefit from. When you raise that temperature and start reaching Bhav Bhakti, that's when the wax starts melting and the God color starts getting added in it. And once it is added, then nobody can take it, right? Swamiji was saying that You can challenge, wax can challenge the color and color can challenge the wax. Nobody can take it. Like famous quote from Tulsidas, right? He said that, forgotten that, but he said that when Krishna, he tried to grab Krishna, he ran away. So he said, you know, thinking of me as an old, weak man, you are running away from me. I would consider you a brave person if you can run away from my heart. Okay, he's challenging God that you cannot run away from my heart, even though you have physically run away from me. So that is the beauty of taking on this color. Once you take on the color, it cannot leave you. But to get on to that stage, it takes a lot of doing. Okay. Now, Krishna is considered, Krishna, the word itself means all attractive. Now, anything in this world, we get attracted to so many things in this world. We get attracted to ordinary people, thinking them of, you know, as if they are the next Gandharvas they have come across. But having said that, anything that we get attracted on this world, that is called a mellow. Mellow means ras, material ras. Now consider Krishna other is all attractive and he is actually Ras Sindhu. So we have not even tasted divine ras. So not forget about material ras. He is the epicenter of all the mellows that you can think about. Thousands of cupids will faint in front of him. Now, if he takes control of your head, he decides to make entry into your head because he considers it worthy enough because of the cleaning job that you have done on yourself. After that, even if you want, he will not leave. If Ras Sindhu takes control of your head, it's like that level of intoxication, devotion that you will feel, it's like unbelievable. So just imagine we get infatuated by ordinary things, okay? I mean, useless things. If the actual thing, he takes control of it, how intoxicating that would be. And that is what the power of Shamras is. But then he doesn't take control of it just for the sake of it, right? It takes a bit of a doing for him to start entering our mind and heart. But if it happens, after that, you are a done deal. Right? The gopis, there was a gopis, she was meditating, Narad Muni was wondering what kind of meditations these gopis do. And she was doing a reverse meditation, taking Krishna out of her mind. She said, wherever I take my mind, he comes and disturbs it. Just imagine the state. Now she's saying, I have to operate also. So I'm trying to take him off my mind, but he does not go. No matter where I go, he comes. So just imagine such a privileged state that Gopi is in. So that is the power of Shamrang, or Gaurang for that matter. Okay. Yes, Rahul, you wanted to add something? Rahul? Unmute. Can somebody unmute?
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe. I just created like 3-4 slides of the origins of Holi. I'm not sure today if the time is there, otherwise I can show some of that. But
Sure.
maybe
You want to, let's take a couple of questions and then we can probably spend a little bit of time going through that.
Also, I mean, Urvi has managed to send another version of a presentation.
Okay, so Urvi, let's do it tomorrow because I think we've run out of time. Or you want to do that? We can. I think we have enough. So let's get started. Let's take a few hands. I see.
Yeah, and I think it's better we do it tomorrow because still I feel there are technical issues, so it will be.
No worries. Let's do it tomorrow.
And Ashutosh ji has sent a message in the chat. Krishna worried about his skin color, that Radha may not like him. Yashoda ji then asked Krishna and asked Radha ji to color his face any color she liked. This is also a story.
Okay, yeah, that's beautiful. It's nice. See, the Krishna Rang and Radha Rang, we cannot know that because those are divine colors. However, saints and poets have given it some kind of a metaphor, right? Like tulips or rain-laden clouds and stuff like that. But it's truly not, we'll not be able to appreciate it until we have divine vision. So it will take a while, but to start off with, we can imagine it as best as we can. And God still gives us credit for that because he knows we cannot really see or visualize his true color through our material mind and senses. So yes, Keshavji, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Keshav ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Keshav ji, happy Holi.
Hi, Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Krishna. I listened to you just for like 10 minutes. I mean, you know what? One time I myself challenged Yog Maya that I am, because of surrendered myself to Lord Krishna, not Lord, I should say, I'll say Purushottam Krishna. And then I had to struggle and face the tragedies what happened to me for 1 year. After that, I decided no more challenge, no spiritual power. Yog Maya itself, Lord Purushottam Krishna declared is very powerful. Until we surrender to Purushottam Krishna, then he doesn't decide. He knows how much surrenderness is there in me for him. And once he knows, then he accepts me. So likewise, Prahlad, he never wanted to have any desire. That's the key. The key message is only one, no second, no other than one, that no more desire, no more kamna. Once kamna is empty, desire is empty, it is zero, then Purushottam Krishna takes the, like we say, Rath ko wo, he drives the Rath and takes the soul direct to Param Dham. That's the key. Jai Shri Krishna.
Very nice. True, that kamna, we have to get rid of all the material desires, and that's when we make space for God to enter. Otherwise, he's not going to enter. Even if you have a trace of some material desire, he'll say, all right, I can wait. I'm in no hurry. Anyway, God is in no hurry, right? We see through our experience, he doesn't seem to be in any hurry at all. He has seen us in so many lifetimes. He said, you take your time. Okay, be my guest for as long as you want. But the day you make me as your top priority and the only desire, then I'll be yours. So that's how the game goes. Yes, Chandruji?
Just wanted to mention this, that now Urvi's presentation is downloaded and I have it, so no technical issues anymore.
Cricket score. But we'll do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Chandruji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Chandruji.
Nitinji, I had a question about the color of Krishna being blue. The sky is blue, the ocean is blue. And is there any story connected with this bluish color?
Possibly, Krishna picked, I used to wonder, why did he take up blue color? And, everybody has a color, so he had to, he's God, he has to look different, right? Why didn't he wear a crown? He took a peacock feather. Now he took a flute, not a guitar. And then he's crooked from 3 angles, he slight tilt here at the head and the waist and then at the feet. So he's different, but yeah, that blue is, you can say that, but then what is that true blue? We will not know until we have the divine vision. We can visualize it because sky is visible to us. It is blue, but divine blue we cannot visualize until we get the divine vision and truly appreciate the beauty that it is, right? It is said there was a painter who saw Krishna, okay, maybe he became God realized and started painting him. Okay, so he painted and then looked at, he said, no, he looks even more beautiful. And then he paints and corrects, looks at it even more. So every look is like, he looks even more. So God has infinite beauty and we cannot really visualize what it means until we have that vision. In fact, if God manifests in front of us, we will become Nastic. We'll say, people say he's more beautiful than thousands of Cupid. It looks like very ordinary because we don't have that vision. But it is very difficult to describe his beauty and the actual color until you have the divine vision. And that's where saints have just put it metaphorically as best as they possibly could, giving us some examples that we can loosely relate to. But yeah, maybe that's why so many things in nature are blue. Maybe God inspired them or made them purposely like that. Okay, a couple of other hands, I think they want to add. So let's hear from them and then we can. I think we don't have devotional segment today. Kumarji wanted to sing, but possibly tomorrow now. But tomorrow we have Urvi's presentation, so hopefully we can get through that. Yes, Jyotiji, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Jyotiji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Happy Holi to everybody. And I teach Bal Gokul at my mandir, and this is a question that the children have asked me as to why Bhagwanji is blue. And from my research, what I found out is that Bhagwanji is endless. He is infinite. And if you look at the sky, if you look at the ocean, to the end of what we can see, what the naked eye can see, it's all blue. And that is the simile that is given. And of course, Bhagwanji is also said that he's blue. It is also said that he's as dark as the darkest clouds. So like Nitinji said, it is hard for us to put a material sense around the divine form of Krishna. But for children and for us, that devotees that are new on this path, that is the easiest explanation that I could find. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you. Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Yeah, very true. Ocean, sky, if you look at it, the limitless, endless horizon, you look at it, it's blue. Even. Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it to kids. A lot of kids, they ask it. Thank you so much, Jyotiji. Yes, Naka Bugoji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Naka Bugoji, please go ahead.
I'm just saying that I read somewhere it's saying that this story is also related to the 1,000 women whom Lord Krishna married to save them from a demon. Is it true?
Sorry, you couldn't understand that, Naka Bugoji.
Naka Bugoji?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, can you repeat what you said?
You couldn't make out what you said.
I'm just saying that this story also, I read somewhere that it is related to the 1,000 women whom, are they 1,000? Whom Lord Krishna married to marry them from a certain demon when they were already married, and Lord Krishna killed that demon and married those women.
Okay, married some woman, I guess you said. Maybe you can type it, it'll be easier. We couldn't make out. But if you have a story to share with us, maybe you can type it in the chat and then we can share it with the group. But thank you so much.
Yeah,
Let's
you can
hear from
yeah, you can send it to me in the chat. I can read it out. Thank you. Keshav ji, you want to say something else or your hand is up from the... Oh, okay. You do, okay. And Sam ji, okay. I'll just take first Keshav ji.
Sure, let's take.
Yeah, Keshav ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. I want to add two things. Number one, I heard Kirpaluji Maharaj in one of the recordings which was played on TV, because the blue color is from Radha ji. She liked blue color and she used to wear blue colored sari. I heard with my own ears and saw on TV with my these eyes. Number two, like you mentioned, the span of this Brahman, this total life of Brahmaji is, as we know, 100 years. And this is the 51st year going on. So from that perspective, 16,000 trillion years have passed and so much is the balance. If we realize this in this period of time left to us, we can, like mukti, we can prop mukti, salvation, whatever we call it. That's the goal for which I'm struggling in this life itself. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Keshavji. Very true. If you look at it, Radharani, she wears blue, which is Krishna's color, and Krishna wears golden, that yellow, which is Radharani's color. So those colors, if you look at it in pictures, that is how it is. But what kind of hue, shade of blue, that we cannot understand until we have that divine vision. So, but in our sense, we can see blue in that way, but it has a lot of richness, probably some texture that we cannot make out until we have divine vision. But yeah, both of them endorse each other's colors on their bodies, so that is very true. Thank you so much, Keshavji. Yes, Survi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Urvi.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that we are talking about the shade of blue. So I've heard it from Maharaji that when when the rays of sun fall on the linseed flower, and the shade of blue that is created, that is the color of our Shyam Sundar. So we can see that.
Yes,
I'm
very
sorry
good.
about the presentation. I'll present it
No
tomorrow now.
worries. You can do that tomorrow if you have got it sorted out. So we look forward to it tomorrow. It can happen, I know, technical glitches. Great. So I don't think we have anybody for devotionals. Oh, we have one. Pallavi ji today,
Yes,
or
Pallavi ji.
Pallavi ji we have. So let's move to our devotional segment. I think our actual session is over. So we'll take Pallavi ji today, and then we will, I think, wrap up for today. So over to you, Pallavi ji. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Radhe Radhe Pallavi ji.
Yeah. So, today I'm going to offer Shyam Rang Meera Bhajan. श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया हो श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया ऐसी रंग दे कि रंग नाही छूटे ऐसी रंग दे कि रंग नाही छूटे धोबिया धोए चाहे सारी उमरिया श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया लाल ना रंगाऊं मैं हरी ना रंगाऊं लाल ना रंगाऊं मैं हरी ना रंगाऊं अपने ही रंग में रंग दे चुनरिया हो अपने ही रंग में रंग दे चुनरिया श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया बिना रंगाए मैं तो घर नहीं जाऊंगी बिना रंगाए मैं तो घर नहीं जाऊंगी बीत ही जाए चाहे ये सारी उमरिया हो बीत ही जाए चाहे ये सारी उमरिया श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया हो श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर प्रभु चरणन में लागी नजरिया हो श्याम चरणन में लागी नजरिया श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया श्याम पिया मुरी रंग दे चुनरिया
रंग दे चुनरिया, रंग दे चुनरिया, रंग दे, रंग दे, रंग दे चुनरिया. Thank you, Radhe.
You made our day, Pallavi ji, on a holy day. Very nice. I loved it.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you for the opportunity.
another world altogether, just close your eyes and listen to you. You should sing it once again, or maybe more of Meera's bhajans. Loved it. Great, outstanding.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite bhajan.
Yeah, if I may just add, each and every line of it was so beautiful and it was just mesmerizing. Like Holi spent right through this bhajan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Perfect rounding off for Holi. Loved it. Amazing, outstanding. Great. So when you have the best dessert, then you don't want to spoil it, right, with anything else. So great. I think we had a wonderful session today. I look forward to the presentation tomorrow, and we'll talk more things about devotion and the colors of Holi tomorrow. We have a shorter session tomorrow because we have a hard stop, but I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and have a blessed rest of your day, and Holi also. Stay safe. Don't throw colors inside the eyes, okay? It has happened to me once. And have a good time. Thank you so much, Pallavi ji. Loved it. And
Thank you.
you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Nitin ji. Thank you, everyone.
So
Thank
much.
you.
Have a Shyam Holi, all of you, and have a great day
Yeah.
and great evening. Radhe Radhe. Thank you so
Radhe
much
Radhe.
for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah.
Radhe.
Good day.